Welcome to another episode. Today we will be seeing the topic wisdom. Wisdom is not something which can be taught. Knowledge can be taught through books, through practice, and skill can be developed through practice. But wisdom is something different. It cannot be acquired. So let us see what is wisdom. The unevolved, mesmerized by the three modes of material nature, cannot perceive this infinitesimal potency departing the body, residing in the body, or enjoying the body. But those enlightened by the eye of the wisdom can perceive. This is Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 verse 10. Let us see what is psychological concept of wisdom. This is from quotes from Baltes and Staudinger. First point is a comprehensive characterization of wisdom identified seven properties of wisdom that emerge when analyzing and synthesizing cultural, historical and philosophical work. First point is, wisdom represents a truly superior level of knowledge, judgment and advice. Wisdom addresses important and difficult questions and strategies about the conduct and meaning of life. Wisdom includes knowledge about the limits of knowledge and uncertainties of the world. Wisdom constitutes knowledge with extraordinary scope, depth, measure and balance. Wisdom involves a perfect synergy of mind and character, that is, an orchestration of knowledge and virtues. Wisdom represents knowledge used for the good or well-being of oneself and that of others. And wisdom, although difficult to achieve and to specify, is easily recognized when manifested. So this is the psychological concept of wisdom. Then we will see what Buddhism says about this. This is by Lama Tsongkhapa, stated that in order to get rid of confusion with regard to any subject, we must develop the three wisdoms that arise through contemplation. We have to listen to the relevant teaching, which develops the wisdom through hearing. Then we contemplate the meaning of the teaching, which gives rise to the wisdom of contemplation. Finally, we meditate on the ascertained meaning of teaching, which gives us the wisdom of meditation. By applying these three kinds of wisdom, we will be able to get beyond our doubts, misconceptions, and confusion. The way of the wisdom is perceiving emptiness or selflessness in order to liberate us from samsara, the cycle of birth and death. It is by the way of perceiving and experiencing emptiness that we will be able to counteract our basic sense of ignorance or grasping at self. Buddha is one who has fully comprehended the truth of life and the universe and acquired the ultimate and perfect wisdom. How do we attain wisdom? It is innate to our nature, but it is now covered. It is our true nature, but it is covered. Percepts or self-discipline lead to deep concentration, from which wisdom arises. Self-attachments are afflictions that hinder us from attaining purity of mind. Knowledge attachment hinders us from the uncovering all our knowing wisdom, our true wisdom. Then what does Hinduism say? This is by Dillard and Ibsen. Concept of wisdom in the Gita: knowledge of life, emotional regulation, control over desires, decisiveness, love of God, beauty and work, self-contentness, compassion, sacrifice, insight, humility, and yoga, that is the integration of personality. Then I will tell you Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. I have taken few wisdoms from there. We will see that. The songs, the poems. The worldly hope men set their hearts upon turns ashes, or it prospers and anon. Like snow upon the desert's dusty face, lighting a little hour or two is gone. Think in this battered caravanserai, whose doorways are alternate night and day, how Sultan after Sultan with his palm abode his hour or two and went his way. Ah, make the most of what you yet may spend, before we too into dust descend, dust into dust, and under dust to lie. Sans wine, sans song, sans singer, and sans end. Myself when young did eagerly frequent doctor and saint, and heard great argument about it and about, but evermore come out by the same door as I went. There was a door to which I found no key, there was a way past which I could not see. Some little talk awhile of me and thee there seemed, and then no more of thee and me. Then there are two stories of wisdom. We'll see two stories. The first story is a sacred tortoise. One day the monk Chuang Tzu was fishing in a river bank, and two of king's men came, officials from king's court. They told, sir, the king has requested you come to the court and serve as his prime minister. That is a very high post next to the king. Chuang Tzu was a very intelligent man. The king has heard about the master. So he wanted Chuang Tzu as a prime minister, number 2 position in the hierarchy in his court. Without even looking up, Chuang Tzu answered, I have heard that king has a sacred tortoise shell that has been dead for 2000 or 3000 years ago, very old. But it is in the temple, in king's personal temple, wrapped in silk and resting on a golden box. But tell me, if you are a tortoise, will you be honored to be in the box, wrapped in silk, covered in a golden box, sitting there, or will you be crawling in the mud? The officials replied, if I am alive, I will be crawling in the mud. That is where I belong, if I were a tortoise. Chuang Tzu then said to him, go and tell the king, I am happy here, crawling in the mud. That was his reply. That is the wisdom. Then we will see the second story, wisdom on sale. So this has happened in Gujarat, in India. A man was fondly in love with his son, but the man died. He had no property. He is a poor man. Suddenly he died due to illness. And there was no money. The mother was alone. So the young boy, the child, had to earn money. So he started working as a scribe, a writer. But the money was barely enough to feed him. So he wanted to have a better way. He thought about it. And suddenly he decided, I will sell wisdom. That is indeed something everyone needs. Nobody seems to have wisdom. So let me open up a shop and sell wisdom. So he did that. What he thought, he immediately put it into action. He rented a little shop, put up a board, got few papers and the ink. Then there was a huge banner which said wisdom for sale. First day he had few curious people lurking around the shop. Nobody came in and bought wisdom. But he was not discouraged. After some time the first customer came in. It was an young boy with the money of his father and the common sense of his mother. What is the weight of the wisdom? He asked. Then this young boy replied, no, you can't buy wisdom by weight. It will be too expensive, but I can give a nice piece of it with 1 rupee. 1 rupee at that earlier times were very costly. The foolish boy thought, if I can buy wisdom, I will buy it, I will become intelligent. So he gave 1 rupee and bought it. And this shopper boy, he took a piece of paper and wrote in a neat handwriting, take home this valuable piece of wisdom. The young boy ran home, looking forward to his parents, his new possession. He told his father, just for 1 rupee I bought immense wisdom. His father was totally angry. What madness is this? Somebody has cheated for a piece of paper. Nothing is there. And for this piece of paper, he has paid 1 rupee. And what is in that? In that was written, you shall never stop by to watch two people that are quarreling. That was the words written there. The father of the young boy burst into rage. He ran back with a piece of paper and took his son along with him, went to the shop. He told you, take your wisdom back, give me my 1 rupee. Again, you are cheating. Okay, I'll give you back the 1 rupee. You give me that wisdom, but his son will never follow this wisdom. He should never follow. Promise me that. Okay, said the father. So he gave back the 1 rupee. And the boy went away, returning the piece of paper. Next day, when the boy was walking around, he stumbled upon 2 women quarreling. And this boy is a sincere boy. He remembered what he promised. So he was not supposed to listen according to the wisdom, but he is not supposed to follow since he has returned the money, given back the wisdom. So he stopped and listened. So it was 2 people, 2 young ladies of the royal family. And there was a fight. And the only guy who was standing there was this young boy, because others were afraid and they went their way. But he was standing there and watching, hearing whatever is happening. So next day he was called as a witness between these 2 royal people. The king summoned him and told him if he is, not to follow a decree of the king will attract punishment. So he ran back to the house and the father was aghast. He immediately ran to the shop, went to the boy who was selling wisdom. The boy told, give me 50 rupees. Now price has increased. I will not give it for 1 rupee. Okay, he said, he gave 50 rupees. Give me the piece of wisdom. He said, the unwise shall pretend to have lost memory while in tribunal. That is what he wrote as a new wisdom. He gave it to the father of the young boy. So next day, the young boy went to the court, acted as if he has lost his memory. Because he is a young boy and everybody accepted it. But the young boy must have forgotten what has happened 2 days back. So he was spared. But his reputation was lost. Everybody was telling this guy's memory is poor and he could not keep his word. The father went back to the shop and bought some more wisdom. When he wanted to buy some more wisdom, the shopkeeper said the price is now 500 rupees. Wisdom is no longer for everyone. It is expensive. The man paid and received a piece of wisdom. When the king is happy, go to him and tell him the truth. That was the wisdom. So the boy's father waited for the opportune moment. When the king was in happy times, he went to his court. He told the whole story. The king laughed at this, made amends. He said, okay, the young boy is okay. It's fine. I am not angry with him. Then he went to the wisdom seller, called him up. He paid him 1 lakh rupees. Asked for a wisdom. Then the boy wrote, the wisdom seller wrote, always think a lot before acting. The king was astonished by the words and asked the servants to paint that sentence in important places all over the palace. Days passed by, and one day the king became sick, and medicines were being given to him. One day a concoction was prepared. It was at the insistence of the Prime Minister who wanted to steal the throne. He has paid huge sums to the doctor, the king's doctor, and the poison was mixed with that. King was about to drink the poison. While looking up, he saw that words, think a lot before doing something. Slowly he placed the concoction on the table. The doctor panicked. Why this king is suddenly keeping the concoction down without drinking it? Why the king is thinking? What is happening? He panicked and he blurted out the truth. The king banished the doctor, punished the Prime Minister, and he paid huge money to the wisdom seller whose wisdom has saved his life. So the wisdom seller, the young boy, had become very rich. His wisdom helped everyone. It is priceless. So that is the story of wisdom. With this, we will end this episode. Subscribe to my channel. Stay with me for another episode. Thank you.